The summer of 2025 is marked by a deepening rift within the coalition that brought Donald Trump back to the White House. What once seemed like an unbreakable alliance of conservative power players is now showing visible cracks as internal disagreements spill into the public eye and threaten the administration's stability. At the heart of this turmoil is a single explosive demand: release the Epstein files. These documents, rumored to contain the names of high-profile individuals and details of a sprawling network, have become a lightning rod for controversy, with activists, journalists, and politicians all calling for transparency. Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson, two of the most influential conservative voices in America, have taken center stage in this debate. Both have publicly warned that Trump's refusal to declassify the Epstein documents is eroding public trust, not just in his leadership, but in the entire promise of government accountability. Musk's relentless posts on X, ranging from pointed questions to viral memes, have captured the frustration and anger of millions. He's painted Trump as the new protector of secrets, a role reversal that's left many supporters feeling betrayed. The memes and hashtags have spread like wildfire, fueling a digital movement demanding answers. Meanwhile, Carlson, broadcasting from his independent platform, has issued stark warnings. He argues that the administration's secrecy could provoke a crisis of faith in American institutions, suggesting that the real beneficiaries of the cover-up are not Trump or his allies, but powerful intelligence agencies and entrenched elites who have long operated in the shadows. Their relentless critiques have pushed the Epstein file controversy from the fringes of online conspiracy forums into the heart of mainstream political discourse. What began as whispers and speculation has now become a full-blown crisis, forcing Trump's administration to defend a policy that seems to contradict its anti-establishment roots and campaign promises of transparency. The administration now faces attacks not just from the opposition, but from its own allies. The issue threatens to fracture the very movement that brought Trump to power, as once loyal supporters question whether the coalition can survive this test of trust and principle. To truly grasp the intensity of the controversy surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, you have to understand the shadow his legacy casts over society today. His story is not just about one man's crimes, but about the systems and people that enabled him for years, and the questions that remain unanswered. Epstein was a financier who used his immense wealth and powerful connections to orchestrate a vast trafficking ring, operating in plain sight yet shielded by the world's elite. His lifestyle, private jets, lavish parties, and exclusive circles, wasn't just a backdrop, but a crucial part of how he gained access to the rich and influential, and how he evaded scrutiny for so long. At the heart of the public's obsession is The List, a rumored, highly secretive catalog of every powerful figure who may have been involved in, or at least aware of, Epstein's criminal activities. The idea of such a list has taken on a life of its own, representing the hidden networks that many believe operate above the law. For countless people, the list is more than just names on paper. It's the key to exposing a corrupt global elite and finally holding them accountable for their actions. It's a symbol of hope that the truth will come out, no matter how powerful those involved may be. The demand for the list's release goes far beyond simple curiosity. It's a passionate call for justice in a world where the powerful often seem untouchable, and where ordinary people feel shut out from the truth. The public wants answers, and they want to see real consequences for those who abuse their power. When Epstein died under suspicious circumstances in 2019, it only deepened the sense of mistrust. Many believe that the files connected to his case could contain evidence of blackmail, espionage, and even murder, fueling endless speculation and conspiracy theories. Whether the list truly exists or not, it has become a powerful symbol of the public's demand for transparency, accountability, and a reckoning with deep-seated institutional corruption. People want to know who was involved and how far the cover-up might go. For many, the release of the list would be nothing short of revolutionary, a moment that could finally force accountability at the highest levels of power, and perhaps change the way justice is served in our society. In July 2025, the Trump DOJ released a memo declaring the Epstein case closed, suicide, no blackmail, and most explosively, no client list. The memo insisted no single organized ledger of clients was ever found, dashing hopes for a smoking gun document. Critics, including Carlson, immediately questioned how the DOJ could claim no evidence exists, while refusing to release the files for public scrutiny. For many, the memo was not closure, but confirmation of a cover-up, deepening distrust in government. Instead of ending speculation, the DOJ's move fueled new questions. If there's nothing to hide, why not release everything? The attempt to close the book has only convinced skeptics that the truth is more explosive than ever. Trump's campaign promise to release the Epstein files was a rallying cry for his base, symbolizing his anti-elite drain-the-swamp agenda. Now, back in office, Trump's tone has shifted. He dismisses Epstein questions and labels them distractions. The promised declassification has turned into stonewalling, leaving supporters feeling betrayed. The reversal has created a bizarre dynamic. Trump's own base now accuses him of the very cover-up he once railed against. This contradiction undermines his populist brand, making him look like a traditional gatekeeper rather than a truth-teller. Critics argue this is more than a broken promise. It's a betrayal of the movement's core principles. The controversy has forced Trump's supporters to question who he's really protecting. Attorney General Pam Bondi became the face of the administration's credibility crisis after claiming the list was on her desk. Her remark electrified Trump's base, but as months passed with no release, Bondi walked back her statement, saying she meant the case file, not a client list. The backtracking only deepened suspicions, making Bondi a symbol of the administration's broken promises. After the DOJ's memo, Bondi doubled down: no list, case closed, no more information. Once hailed as a transparency champion, she's now targeted by furious MAGA influencers who see her as part of the cover-up. Far-right voices like Loomer have launched personal attacks demanding Bondi's firing. Bondi's journey from hero to villain mirrors the administration's broader failure on the Epstein issue. She now embodies the betrayal felt by Trump's most loyal supporters. The administration's secrecy has triggered a civil war within the MAGA movement, with top influencers leading the rebellion. A White House event meant to placate critics backfired when the Epstein Files Phase 1 revealed nothing new, leaving influencers outraged. Social media erupted with accusations of manipulation and cover-up, targeting officials like FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Dan Bongino. Even former allies have been eviscerated online, accused of selling out for power. Vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance's silence on the issue is seen as complicity. While Trump himself remains insulated from the harshest criticism, the rift is growing. The controversy exposes a vulnerability. Even Trump's most loyal supporters have limits when promises are broken. The infighting over the Epstein files is testing the very foundation of his political brand. The public's fixation on a single client list often overshadows the much broader reality. There is a vast trove of unreleased evidence, far more extensive than just one document or list. This evidence is not limited to a few names or a single file. It encompasses a complex web of information that remains largely hidden from view. Investigative journalists like Julie Brown, along with other reporters, have highlighted the existence of thousands of pages of FBI files, unredacted flight logs, and hundreds of witness interviews. These documents, which could shed light on the full scope of the case, are mostly kept from the public eye, locked away in government archives and legal vaults. The secrecy doesn't stop there. It extends to the details of Epstein's autopsy, which has been the subject of much speculation, and perhaps most intriguingly, to the possibility of surveillance footage from his many properties. Footage that could provide crucial answers about what really happened and who was involved. These materials, flight logs, security videos, and confidential reports, could reveal not only who visited Epstein, but also what transpired behind closed doors at his private estates, on his planes, and during secretive meetings. When officials claim that no list exists, it's often a matter of semantics. This statement sidesteps the real issue: the ongoing refusal to release the raw, unfiltered evidence that could answer the public's most pressing questions. The real Epstein files are not just a list. They are the flight logs, the witness statements, the hours of video recordings, and the stacks of investigative documents that remain sealed and inaccessible. By withholding this mountain of evidence, not just denying the existence of a list, authorities fuel public suspicion and speculation, making it impossible for the truth to come to light. Ultimately, the demand is for real transparency. Only by releasing the full scope of evidence can the public hope to understand the facts and judge the truth for themselves. Redacting government documents is standard, but in the Epstein case, the blacked-out pages have become a symbol of cover-up. A CNN report alleged that Attorney General Bondi ordered FBI agents to prioritize redacting Epstein files over national security work, raising questions about the administration's motives. Defenders say redactions protect victims' privacy, but the context of broken promises has eroded public trust. To many, the rush to redact looks like a frantic effort to scrub incriminating information before a leak or court order. The administration faces a catch-22. Heavy redactions fuel conspiracy theories, but total secrecy is seen as proof of a cover-up. Only a minimally redacted release could restore trust, but the current strategy has cemented suspicion that the government is protecting the powerful, not the public. The Epstein files controversy is more than a political scandal. It's a battle over the public's right to know. The demand for transparency is rooted in a need for justice and accountability, not gossip. The administration's insistence on secrecy misreads the national mood. Trust in institutions is at an all-time low. Only transparency can counter conspiracy and restore faith in government. The fight for the Epstein files unites people across the political spectrum in suspicion that the system protects the elite. The issue has become a litmus test for Trump's promise to serve the people, not the establishment. Until the files are released, questions and suspicion will persist, and the shadow of Epstein will loom over the nation. The demand is simple: let the people see the evidence.